The second thing is to avoid the situation getting bad, or at least any worse. Tackle weeds as and when you notice them. In practice, this means that it is a constant job. But I use it as a chance to get close to my plants and to judge the state of my soil, as well as keeping the place looking good. So don't see weeding as a terrible burden, but enjoy it as a part of real gardening. Chemicals are very good at destroying weeds, but they can also destroy plants you want to keep, let alone the microdiversity of your soil and the insect life in your garden. Weed killers are pushed hard by chemical companies, mainly because they are enormously profitable and often effective in the short term. But in the medium to long term, they are actively harmful to your whole ecosystem. And quite frankly, that's just not good gardening. We are here to look after and nurture this lovely earth, not blast everything that momentarily stands in our way. There is another approach. Manage weeds so that you can control them rather than they controlling you. And here is how. First of all, timing. You must remove weeds before they seed. The old adage, 1 year seeding means 7 years weeding, is pretty much accurate. If you can't dig them up, then cut the tops off. Use a mower if you have to, until such a time as you can get at them properly. 2. Hoe. If you grow vegetables, a hoe is essential for removing weeds, and the secret of hoeing is to do it little and often. Always hoe on a dry day, preferably in the morning, so that the weeds will wilt and die in the sun, because they can and often will regrow in the wet. The secret of hoeing is to keep the blade really sharp and run it lightly under the surface of the soil in a push-pull action rather than jabbing at individual weeds. If you have a very weed-infested piece of ground you want to cultivate, and remember that weed infestation implies good soil, and the weeds have not yet gone to seed, then you can hoe the weeds off with a mattock or a large draw hoe. Rake off what you can and compost it, then dig the whole area over. This won't get rid of the perennial weeds, but will allow you to grow a crop of fast-growing and weed-suppressing vegetables, like potatoes, beans or squashes, or to sow a green manure. 3. Handweed. A hoe is often too crude a weapon for a border. The answer is to get down on your hands and knees and carefully remove every scrap of weed with your fingers and a hand fork. I love it. You really get to know your soil and your plants, and the seedlings and herbaceous perennials coming through, and you improve an area dramatically without major disruption. 4. Roots. The best way to remove all perennial weeds is to dig up their roots. Now, with nettles or brambles, this is actually quite easy. But bindweed, ground elder and couch grass will all regrow from the tiniest scrap of root. And as these are very brittle, it's actually very easy to break off a piece and leave it in the ground. But don't be discouraged. We all miss bits of root. Just go back if you notice regrowth and take some more out. And in time you will get on top of it, as well as dramatically weakening it and reducing the spread. And finally, mulch. Cover every piece of bare soil with a light-excluding but moisture-permeable layer. Garden compost is best of all, but quite frankly anything will do the job. Well-rotted horse or cattle manure is good, although cattle manure can include a lot of weed seeds if it hasn't been sufficiently rotted down. If you're using an organic mulch, i.e. one that will rot into the soil, spread it at least 2 inches thick. This won't stop existing perennial weeds growing through, but will make them much easier to pull up. And although it won't eradicate perennials, it will certainly weaken them. This is important, since if some weeds are allowed to get healthy and strong, their spread is phenomenal. Bindweed can cover 30 square yards in one growing season.